Can't say I'm a big fan of this whole industrial revolution going on. Kinda enslaves the proletariat, am I right?
Yeah, man. We should start an ideological revolution against that shit.
Welcome to the first Congress of the League. Engels, let's run through your communist professions of faith to give everyone a clear idea of what we are about.
Okay.
Are you a communist?
Yes.
What is the aim of the communist?
To organize society in such a way that every member of it can develop and use all his capabilities and powers in complete freedom and without thereby infringing the basic conditions of this society.
So how do you wish to achieve this aim of the communist?
By the elimination of private property and its replacement by community of property.
How do you wish to prepare the way for the community of property?
By enlightening and uniting the proletariat.
What is the proletariat?
The proletariat is that class of society which lives exclusively by its labor and not on the profit from any kind of capital. The class whose weal and woe, whose life and death, therefore, depend on the alternation of times of good and bad business. In a word, on the fluctuations of competition.
So you're saying then there have not always been proletarians?
No. There have always been poor and working classes, and those who worked were almost always the poor. But there have not always been proletarians, just as competition has not always been free.
So, how did the proletarians arise?
The proletariat came into being as a result of the introduction of the machines which have been invented since the middle of the last century, and the most important of which are the steam engine, the spinning machine, and the power loom. These machines, which were very expensive and could therefore only be purchased by rich people, supplanted the workers of the time, because by the use of machinery it was possible to produce commodities more quickly and cheaply than could the workers with their imperfect spinning wheels and hand looms. The machines thus delivered industry entirely into the hands of big capitalists, and rendered the workers' scanty property, which consisted mainly of their tools, looms, etc., quite worthless, so that the capitalist was left with everything, the worker with nothing. In this way, the factory system was introduced. Once the capitalists saw how advantageous this was for them, they sought to extend it to more and more branches of labor. They divided work more and more between the workers, so that workers who formerly had made a whole article now produced only a part of it. Labor simplified in this way produced goods more quickly and therefore more cheaply, and only now was it found in almost every branch of labor that here also machines could be used. As soon as any branch of labor went over to factory production, it ended up, just as in the case of spinning and weaving, in the hands of big capitalists, and the workers were deprived of the last remnants of their independence. We have gradually arrived at the position where almost all branches of labor are run on a factory basis. This has increasingly brought about the ruin of the previously existing middle class, especially of the small master craftsmen, completely transformed the previous position of the workers, and two new classes which are gradually swallowing up all the other classes that have come into being, namely, 1. The class of big capitalists, who in all advanced countries are in almost exclusive possession of the means of subsistence, and those means, machines, factories, workshops, etc., by which these means of subsistence are produced. This is the bourgeois class, or the bourgeoisie. 2. The class of the completely propertyless, who are compelled to sell their labor to the first class, the bourgeois, simply to obtain from them in return their means of subsistence. Since the parties to this trading in labor are not equal, but the bourgeois have the advantage, the propertyless must submit to the bad conditions laid down by the bourgeois. This class, dependent on the bourgeois, is called the class of the proletarians, or the proletariat.
Hi, I'm a middle-class English woman. I don't have to slave away like regular working-class women. It's time to live the high life.
No, no, middle-class woman. That is not your job.
What?
Since you are liberated from the labor burdens of the lower class and have the benefit and blessing of being liberally educated, your highest calling is to make sure your house is neat and orderly at all times.
What? Do we have to clean the whole day?
Well, that's part of it, but I mean neat and orderly in a much broader sense. You must make sure all members of your household are pleased at all times. You must do all you can to serve your household at all times with promptness and without being asked.
Without being asked?
Indeed, middle-class Englishwoman. Is a household member sick? Attend to them before they call on you. Will your family be expecting supper at a given hour? They best never ask when you'll be finished making it.
Oh man, this sucks.
You might think so, middle-class Englishwoman, but would you rather be working class?
Huh, touché. Hi, I'm a working class...
Back to work, Harriet.